Hey, y'all, it's Pete Cussman here with Bill Penney Toyota at 4808 University Drive, and I'm so honored. I'm here with Mayor Tommy Battle of Huntsville, Alabama. How are you doing today?
Good to see you,
Doing
Pete.
good? Yeah, so we're going to just kind of talk about the Huntsville and its future and what's really
Sure.
happening for us. I know for me personally, people ask me, where are you from? And I always tell people, well, I've been here since the 70s and I always had planned on moving, but then it's like, Huntsville's gotten really kind of cool, and I think I might stick around a little bit. And I want to really give the honor to you. How long have you been mayor?
8 years now.
8 years?
I'm like you. I moved to Huntsville in 1980, and kind of had in the back of my mind that I would stay about 4 or 5 years, and
Mhm.
then move along. And 30 something years later, 36 years later, I'm still sitting here.
Right, yeah. And so I've just seen a lot of new opportunities. I mean, Huntsville's always been a great place for like families and that type of
Hmm.
thing. But being kind of a single guy, now there's some actual kind of happenings going on because people have always been like, well, I'll go to Atlanta or I'll go to
Yeah.
Nashville or Birmingham or whatever. And now there's actually starting to be some things going on here. And I've seen a lot of signs that have talked about really like diversity and different things that you're opening up, right?
We're very fortunate. The city of Huntsville has such a population. Everybody's from somewhere else,
Right.
and so because of that, everybody's accepted, and that's portions of what you want to have. You want to have diversity in the city. You want to have you want to have opportunity. You want to have some things that people think are neat and cool things to do, and
Mm.
so we've got a little bit of all of those. Never would have figured 8 years ago when we first came in that craft breweries would be something big that would attract people. I never
Mm.
would have figured 8 years ago when I first came in that food truck rallies would
Right.
be big. In our day, years ago, food trucks were the last resort to that. Now we have gourmet food trucks coming around, so it's a great thing for our community.
I love bacon food truck.
Calories on top of calories.
I know that I used to go to. I went to Calhoun at Stone Middle School. Now to see it being like a venue to go to.
Yeah. And so, you look at Stone Middle School, and it's become a brewery, restaurants, catering place, offices, and it's the new urban thing. You're looking for places to live, work, and play right around a hub, and it's become kind of the hub for the whole community.
And so, what are the pillars that you see that really make like a strong community? What
You
is
know,
it that make people want to invest and stay?
you've got to, I always say there's three things. You've got to have infrastructure, which is roads and water and sewer and all the things and most importantly roads, because that counts on your travel time. You've got to have a quality of life, which is so important. That's everything from greenways to parks to recreation to art museum to symphony to all that kind of thing. To everybody, quality of life means something different. Maybe it's low mill with 200 working artists down there. And then finally, you've got to have a good education system. Education, infrastructure, and quality of life. Those are the three things that drive a community.
Nice, nice. And so I know that there's a lot of really great things happening for Huntsville. I mean, I've heard that like within the next, what is it, 5 to 10 years, we're supposed to be the largest.
Well, a lot of people put stock in that. I think I'd rather be the best than be the largest. With size does not always come something that drives the quality of a community.
That's absolutely true. I agree with that. So what are your main things that you're really focusing on right now?
Right now we're focusing for the last year and a half, well, last probably 3 or 4 years, we've been focusing on advanced manufacturing and bringing in business and industry and advanced manufacturing. Now we've decided to give our advanced manufacturing a little bit of time to catch up, and we've kind of pivoted. Back in November of last year, we started pivoting back towards research park, technology, engineering. Aerospace, all the things that made us the second largest research park in America, and so we've been working on that. Had some small successes with it. RUAG, who is a European company, has set up its American headquarters here. We've also had Aerojet Rocketdyne set up its defense headquarters here. So we've had some small successes with it, and I think we'll have bigger ones in the future.
And I do want to say that I've always been very impressed with how I believe the road systems are really keeping
Yeah.
up with our growth.
That is really key. I mean, we've got $250 million worth of road projects which are coming up with the Restore Our Roads. Plus, we probably have another 140, $200 million worth of roads that are being done just internally within the city of Huntsville. So, I mean, everything from the northern bypass to Cecil Ashburn being 4-lane to 72 East and West, to Research Park Boulevard being 6-lane coming into Redstone Arsenal. All that adds to your ability to keep up with your growth so that you can keep that same quality of life. Part of our quality of life is an 18-minute commute to and from work.
Right.
If that's your average commute to and from work, it makes you very enviable. The people who live on the East Coast, West Coast, or in the Beltway in Washington, or maybe the Baltimore area, they're enviable of that.
Yeah, I know I live 2 towns away, and it still only takes me about 20, 22 minutes,
Yeah.
which I still complain about, of course, because that's what I'm supposed to do. But
Especially.
I love it, and I've seen a real turnaround in what I would say is commercial development. I know that just a few years back there was a lot of like empty commercial space, and now I'm seeing those spaces really open up.
You're seeing them all start to fill up, and a lot of it is that we're getting some of our infrastructure needs out of the way. A lot of it is that the economy is starting to do well enough that you can actually see some growth in that retail corridors there, and so we're going to keep pushing that. That's portions of that's very important to the city. 54% of our income comes off sales tax, and so retail corridors are very, very important for us.
Do you see Huntsville expanding out, like taking over some of the smaller cities outlying?
I don't know if it'll be taking over smaller cities. I mean, we've got our growth. Always want to keep a growth corridor. In the 80s, we started establishing Hampton Cove as a growth corridor, and it went through the 90s and early 2000s and late 2000s to 2010. Zert Road, Martin Road became a growth corridor. 2010 to 15, we're still finishing out Taylor Lane area over in Hampton Cove. But in the 2020s and 30s, it'll be Limestone County. It'll be part of our growth corridor. But you always want to leave yourself enough space so that you can continue to have a growth corridor and have an area that your city will continue to grow into.
Yeah, I mean, I see us with the infrastructure, with the amount of space we do have to grow into, with the growing industry and the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like the perfect storm for a great place to live, don't we?
We really do. And and we want to grow, but we don't want to grow exponentially. If you grow exponentially, you can outgrow your infrastructure. We've seen places, Chattanooga's done, Nashville's done that, Birmingham's done that, Mobile's done that. And when you start adding, making your commute an hour both ways, it's very easy for someone to come pick off your industries. When they come in and say, we have an 18-minute commute, and so it's the 36-minute round trip versus your 2-hour round trip. The question gets to be, what can you do with an extra hour, 24 minutes a day of your life?
Right.
And it makes it very easy to pick off some of the industries that we've worked so hard to bring here. So we want to make sure we keep up.
Any plans for any kind of public transportation or train system or anything coming in?
We've looked at it. We just don't have the density yet. At some point when we have the density where enough people are moving from point A to point B, then that's when the transit systems make sense. We have a bus system, which is a limited bus system, runs Monday through Friday, runs 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. And has some good ridership, but somewhere in the future we'll probably have to expand that.
And what would you say for citizens like me that have been here for a while, or ones that are coming in? What can we do to make this a better community?
Listen, that's the great thing about this community is people give and give back. Whether it's being a reading coach or being a mentor or working with young kids down at the Boys and Girls Club or just coaching a football team or a basketball team. There's so many things that people in this community give back on such a regular basis. That's what makes the magic of Huntsville.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate this time. Is there any final words you'd like to say before we go today?
No, it's been we have a good community, a great community, one that believes in community service and giving back and making us a better place. And I think that's the strength of what we have here in the city of Huntsville.
Nice. Well, it's my honor to be here with you today.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for the interview. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Come see me down at 4808 University Drive, Bill Penney Toyota, when you need a new car or a pre-owned one. You can reach my personal cell, 256-698-1045. Here with Mayor Tommy Battle, who is rocking this town. We'll see you later.